everyone. We're the elites from Vietnam, and today we're going to present about the project that we've been doing for the last 2 months, which is SignBridge, the language translator app for the Vietnam market for the Vietnamese people, and we want to cater for them, right? And for our presentation, we have four main parts. The first one is proper identification. The second one is a solution. The third one is impact and our expansion strategy. How do we reach out to their customer? And last but not least, we have the conclusion. And we want to start out strong with a quick question as how do you want to order a coffee? How can you order a coffee when the barista, when the coffee maker, when a drink maker doesn't speak a language that you cannot hear, right? And you speak a language that they cannot see. And for 2.5 million people that is deaf and mute in Vietnam, this is just isn't a hypothetical reasoning. It's a wall, and a very big wall that. And a secondary data that we have been researching shows that this is a massive gap to fill up. And we only have like 30 professional interpreters for each per 2.5 million deaf and mute people in Vietnam. And from that point, we know that this is not just a social issue, it's a productivity issue and a failure and a challenge as well, right? So let's meet Miss Lee, right? Miss Lee, a barista, a coffee maker, a coffee employee in a coffee shop, right? She wants to be helpful, but she doesn't know a sign language, right? When the deaf and mute customer arrives, she takes out a piece of paper and she want to try to write it down, but the line behind is getting bigger and bigger, and she's stressed, right? The customer waiting, and she feels hopeless, right? Helpless. And it's not just a lack of empathy, but she just lacks the tool to get the job done fast, right? And we want to point out to another person, which is Mrs. Na, right? Li Thi Na. And this is a customer. And she's a very positive middle-aged woman standing at a counter, and suddenly she feels the pressure, right? She feels the burden that the people put on her, that's standing behind her, put on her, right? She gets embarrassed, then she cancels her orders and she leaves, right? And the results, what are the results? The business loses profit, she loses her confidence. That's why we want to point out to another stats that we have been doing with it researching. And we found out that 27.3% of deaf and mute consumers in our survey simply avoid services as a whole. And that's why we point out SignBridge, right? And a specialized AI system designed to bridge and reach the silent wall. That's happening right now. What is different between us and the other system? We know that most AI systems today relies heavily on video-based training, which is very slow, right? However, when we're building a system, we use what is called a sign construction architecture. That means that we're training our model on vocabulary and on icons, on skeleton mapping, rather than MP4, rather than video clips, right? If you don't understand, it's totally normal. We have this example to give out to you. We take the word house, for example. Instead of searching a massive video library, our camera just captures the hand coordination, translate them into a universal icon, and then put it into words, right? It's fast, it's correct, it's cheap. It's only cost you about $60 to run offline, which is really cheap, right? And what are the impacts? I want to talk about impacts. With SignBridge, the dynamic changes, right? Miss Lee no longer has to choose between being kind or being fast. She processes the order instantly, right? And for Mrs. Na, she's no longer burdened. She can now finally order exactly what she wants, right? And we measure success by service return rate, right? We want to turn the service avoidance into brand loyalty, rather than something that we should avoid. And we are not dreaming as well. We are piloting, right? We want to partner with iPost.vn, and we are planning to deploy our services on 30 high traffic location in Ho Chi Minh City to validate this productivity engine in the real world, right? So the vision of SignBridge and for us is we wanted to turn social barrier into a high performing business asset, right? And we're moving from the word pity into the word empowerment to fix this broken workflow. And we think that the success is when the solid was finally gone and everyone has a seat at the table. And we are the elites. And thank you for listening. So